We're in the second intermission. 32 Thoughts is always presented by GMC and the new Sierra AT4X. Jeff and Elliotte, I have a scoop for you. Daryl Sittler was telling me February the 11th in Stockholm, Sweden, an alumni game. All the greats will play. Nick Lidstrom will captain one, Matt Sundin the other. Coaches will be Lanny McDonald, Daryl Sittler, Tiger Williams. A whole bunch of North Americans are flooding in all to ALS Sweden and Borea's cause. So there's a scoop for you. Elliotte, what do you got?
Well, the controversy in the NHL came last night at the end of the Dallas-Winnipeg game, and Connor Hellebuyck spoke to Ken Wiebe and a bunch of other reporters today saying he felt he was put in danger. And I do think you're going to see something come out of this. This is the play. Morrissey knocks Ben into him. He loses his mask. And, you know, the rule is that the play isn't blown dead if there is an immediate and impending scoring opportunity. And there was one which Dallas scored on. Now, I don't like this. I think there's a lot of people in the league who don't like the looks of this. But if you go back to 2017, it's not the exact same play, but in the playoffs, Zach Werenski for Columbus, he gets hit and he's down. And Pittsburgh continued the play for about 20 seconds and eventually scored. And I didn't like that one then. This one is a goalie. And I do think you could see the possibility. I do think there are going to be a lot of conversations about this. And I don't think you'll necessarily see a rule change, Ron and Jeff. But what I do think is you could see a directive pretty soon to tell the officials, be more aggressive in calling this. Just in speaking to people around the league today, I don't think people want to see that, and I could see a directive be more aggressive in making this call.
Real quick one ad. I spoke to one general manager today about this specifically and said if it were put to a vote, he would vote for whistling it dead right away, Ron. Which
would be great, I think, too. Littering the ice happened twice this week.
Well, it did, and a big one on Wednesday. I know about Colorado as well with the Vancouver Canucks, but Wednesday was wild at the Prudential Center. The New Jersey Devils had their 13-game winning streak snapped, 3 disallowed goals, and cue the beer and the soda and the hot dogs and the chicken fingers. Eric Halla and Nico Hischier tried to calm the fans down. Lindy Ruff did as well. A lot of concern about, player safety, ice quality. The Maple Leafs left the ice, as you see there. The National Hockey League Players Association is planning to reach out to the NHL this week to discuss what we saw, probably here as well in the Colorado-Vancouver game, and that is how to mitigate risk should things like this happen again. Everything from ice quality, there's jelly beans in the Vancouver-Colorado game, everything from ice quality to player safety as well. And just as a PSA from all of us here, the only things you should throw on the ice are hats after hat tricks and teddy bears, the teddy bear toss game, Ron.
Was it a watershed win for Edmonton today? Jack Campbell was really suffering. They're down 3-0. 2 video reviews favored Edmonton, and then they roar back and win 4-3. So now they have to be feeling good about themselves.
They Evan Bouchard with 2 goals and Dylan Holloway with his first NHL goal to tie the game before Leon Draisaitl won it. Makes that flight home a lot easier. But one thing I do think the Oilers are looking at is just some depth forwards who are edgy or can grind a little bit. I think there's a feeling since Evander Kane went out that they're a lot easier to play against, and I do think the Oilers are looking to see they're tight on the cap. Can they find a budget player or two that can make a difference in some of their forward depth?
And you have 3 points here, Jeff.
Yeah, there's a couple here. So Kevin Bieksa always loves it when we do Jakob Chychrun updates. So Kev, this one is for you. He's back and he's healthy. He's playing again. Looked really good last night against the Detroit Red Wings. And so we're going to fire up the trade talk, and you'll hear the likely candidates. We'll hear plenty about the Islanders, and we'll hear about the Kings, and we'll hear about the Columbus Blue Jackets. And we're starting to wonder as well about maybe a dark horse candidate in the Buffalo Sabres. Now, Kevin Adams, the general manager, has always maintained we're sticking with youth, and that's the way that we're going. But there is a feeling out there that, they run those big 3 young defensemen really hard. Matthias Samuelsson, Owen Power, and Rasmus Dahlin, who's having a fantastic campaign. This is a team that doesn't need any more prospects. They've identified their core. They've locked them up long term. They need to start to put together their team. Jakob Chychrun has this season and the next 2 seasons at 4.6, and Ron and Elliotte, we're starting to wonder.
How about the World Juniors?
A couple of things here with the juniors. We're wondering who's going, and it sounds like Dylan Guenther from the Arizona Coyotes, he'll be gone to the World Junior Hockey Championships. There was a rumor about Wyatt Johnson in Dallas. I don't think that's going to happen. We wonder about Shane Wright, who's on the 2-week conditioning stint with Coachella Valley in the American Hockey League. 3 goals in 2 games. They're playing San Diego today. And that's renewed this conversation about the NHL-CHL agreement. That is an arrangement that will not allow 18 and 19-year-old CHL players to play in the American Hockey League. It's It's NHL or bust back to junior. I can report that deal was extended by 7 seasons in the summer, but there is a caveat as well. The NHL can reopen it if they decide to change the mandatory return policy. But right now, Ron, there doesn't seem to be any appetite whatsoever from anyone at the NHL level.
Tremendous work. Jeff, Marek, Elliotte Friedman, as always.